The hum of the city was a symphony of life moving at a relentless pace. Cars wove through the labyrinthine streets, their exhaust mingling with the crisp morning air, while pedestrians bustled along the sidewalks, heads bent over their phones or engaged in quiet, pressing conversations. Amidst this chaos stood Emily, her gaze fixed upon a path ahead as she wove through the crowds with practiced ease. Yet, beneath her confident facade, a disquiet throbbed within her chest, a longing both undefined and undeniable, echoing through the mundane rhythm of her days. At 23, Emily often felt adrift, like a ship lost in a vast, uncaring ocean. An artist at heart, she was trapped in the sterile environment of an office job, her aspirations tethered by necessity rather than passion. The city that had once promised boundless creativity now felt suffocating, its towering skyscrapers casting shadows over her dwindling dreams. The weekends offered her a reprieve, albeit temporary. It was during these moments of sanctuary that she roamed the lively stretches of the farmer's market, a place where the ordinary world seemed to fade away, replaced by a vibrant tapestry of color and noise. Stalls brimmed with kaleidoscopic arrays of fruits, vegetables, and crafts, their vendors hawking wares with boisterous enthusiasm. It was here, amidst the fragrant blooms and bustling crowds, that Emily sought solace and inspiration. Each Saturday morning, after gulping down a lukewarm cup of coffee and slinging her tattered backpack over her shoulder, she made her way to the market. Here, Emily would lose herself in the simple pleasures of observing people, sketching their fleeting moments in the worn notebook she kept close, an artist's refuge amidst the clamor of daily life. Back again, called a familiar voice, halting her wandering thoughts. Emily glanced up to find Peter, a vendor she had befriended over her many visits, waving a hand from behind a stacked display of ripe peaches. His face was weathered, his hands rough from years of labor, but his smile was always gentle. "Couldn't stay away if I tried," Emily replied with a bashful grin, tucking a stray hair behind her ear as she meandered over to his stall. "Good to see you, lass," Peter chuckled, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Market wouldn't be the same without our resident artist." She returned his smile, though it barely masked the weariness in her eyes. Peter didn't pry. He'd long learned that Emily sought not conversation, but the quiet company of those who let her be. Their easy rapport required no words, only understanding. Further along the lane, where the market began to thin out, lay a small stall that Emily couldn't resist. Its proprietor, a grizzled man named Joe, had an eclectic inventory of antiques and oddities, his wares more a jumble of past lives than cohesive treasures. But it was something else that drew Emily to this corner, the forlorn animals Joe fostered, giving them a chance at finding new homes. This morning, as Emily approached Joe's stall, a barely perceptible change in the air whispered promises of something new. Her senses sharpened, drawn by an invisible thread, weaving its way to the stall's neglected corner, hidden within shadow and straw. There, amidst the clutter, she found him, a small dog, more a bundle of neglected fur and timid spirit than anything else. His eyes, wide with fear yet holding a flicker of curiosity, met Emily's steady gaze. She felt a jolt run through her, the kind that ignites the soul in an instant of unspoken recognition. He was scruffy and thin, his body quivering with the weight of caution and defeat. "Interest you in a companion today, Miss Emily?" Joe's voice broke the spell, his words gruff yet warm. Emily moved closer, compelled by the silent plea in the dog's eyes. "What's his story?" she asked softly, crouching down to meet the creature's gaze levelly. "Found him wandering the streets a few weeks back. No collar, no trace of where he came from," Joe explained, his hands resting heavily on the wooden stall. "He's a tough little fellow, but needs someone who'll have the patience to see him through." The dog, as if sensing the sincerity of Joe's words, inched forward hesitantly on weak legs. Emily extended a hand, pausing just out of reach to give him time to decide. It was a gesture of trust, a bridge built on empathy rather than urgency. "We've all been a little lost at some point, haven't we?" she murmured, her heart softening with an ache she couldn't quite name. Joe observed with a knowing nod. "Seems you found yourselves in each other, eh?" It was as if the universe had conspired in their favor. A mutual understanding sparked between Emily and the dog, a fragile connection born of shared isolation and the desire for redemption. In that moment, Emily made her decision. "How much?" she asked, resolve firming her voice. "For you?" "No charge. Just promise to give him the home he deserves," Joe replied, gifting her with a rare, approving smile. Emily's heart swelled with gratitude as she reached into her backpack for the downy blanket she always carried, a comfort against the city's chill and her own uncertainties. Gently, she swathed the dog, cradling him close as she felt his tremors ease into a tentative calm against her warmth. As they stepped away from the market, Emily marveled at how something so seemingly small, a choice, a chance encounter, could feel monumental. The future loomed uncertain and daunting, yet a seed of hope and purpose took root within her, nurtured by the vulnerability and resilience cradled in her arms. In the dog's eyes, Emily saw not only what he could become with love and care, but also a reflection of her own journey, a path towards healing and fulfillment, hand in paw, driven by the belief that sometimes, to save others, one must first save themselves. The morning sun filtered through the market's canvas awnings, casting soft dapples of light that danced across Emily's path as she navigated the familiar maze of stalls. Her heart felt a touch lighter, buoyed by her resolve and the unexpected companionship of the small dog now nestled securely in her arms. Yet, behind her quiet smile lay an undercurrent of uncertainty, a pang of doubt that whispered insidiously, reminding her of the fragility of both their futures. As she wove through the bustling market, the cacophony of voices, laughter, and barking dogs created a vibrant backdrop to her thoughts. Yet Emily was attuned only to the soft, rhythmic breathing of her newest companion. She could feel his heart, a rapid flutter against her own, evidence of both his anxiety and the brave trust he placed in her, a trust she was determined not to betray. Upon reaching the edge of the market, Emily paused, taking in the life unfolding around her. It was a world full of possibilities, yet it felt dauntingly expansive for someone whose dreams had long been confined to fits of inspiration and an artist's sketches tucked away in notebooks. Her lease was due, her job was as unfulfilling as ever, and now she had this fragile creature relying on her, a responsibility she had chosen even amidst chaos. Deep breaths, she murmured, feeling the weight of her decision settle more comfortably on her shoulders. The world around them seemed to slow, the rush of city life softening into a distant hum, as Emily silently pledged to forge a path for both herself and the dog now entrusted to her care. It was as if the confines of their shared isolation had created a radiant thread, drawing them together in mutual understanding. The journey back to her apartment was marked by the small dog's tentative adjustments in her arms, his body gradually relaxing, accepting her as his safe haven. Emily's mind drifted to her friend Jessica, a fellow artist who had often spoken of fostering rescue animals as a form of therapy. "They change you more than you change them," Jessica had said, an observation that had once seemed foreign but now resonated deeply with Emily. Pushing open the heavy wooden door to her building, Emily felt a flicker of anticipation mingle with apprehension. Her apartment was small, modest, walls adorned with her canvases and sketches, expressions of creativity she longed to unleash fully. As she set the blanket-wrapped dog down gently on the worn gray carpet, she felt a surge of determination to make this place a sanctuary not only for Max, a name that had settled in her mind during the journey home, but also for herself. "Welcome home, Max," she whispered softly, kneeling beside him as he unwrapped himself from the fabric cocoon with cautious movements. His eyes scanned the surroundings, absorbing the details of his new world. Emily watched as Max sniffed tentatively at the table legs, the scattered tubes of paint and canvases propped against the walls. Despite the shadows of his past, there was curiosity in his exploration, marking the first steps of courage Emily could only hope to mirror in her own life. Reaching for her sketchbook, her fingers brushed across the rough paper she knew so well. The need to capture this moment between them, the rawness of new beginnings, was overwhelming. She began to sketch, the soft contours of Max's form, the light catching on his fur, the angles of his inquisitive gaze. It was an act familiar yet rejuvenating, igniting a forgotten passion that intertwined with the deep-seated longing within her soul. "There's a beauty in this, isn't there, Max?" Her voice, a gentle lilt, seemed to settle the air between them, a shared understanding of struggle, of transformation. Max paused, his head tilting slightly in response, as if acknowledging her words. A tentative wag of his tail made Emily's heart swell with hope. It was enough to convince her that they were both on the cusp of something profound. But the realities of her situation soon clawed at Emily's mind, the stark reminders of bills and obligations casting shadows over her burgeoning optimism. How would she manage this new responsibility? How would she make ends meet when life seemed designed to thwart her aspirations? Despite these looming doubts, the connection she felt with Max grounded her, urging her to push further, to fight harder. A visit to the vet was in order, to assess Max's health and confirm that she could provide him with the life he deserved. This was more than a promise to an animal, it was a commitment to herself. The next morning, Emily found herself waiting in the sterile brightness of the veterinary clinic, the antiseptic smell a sharp contrast to the warmth of Max quivering in her lap. She could feel his tension and understood it deeply, the fear of the unknown that cradled both their hearts. "It's okay, Max. We are in this together," she reassured him softly, the words as much for him as for herself. Their shared journey through the initial checkup reaffirmed Emily's resolve as Dr. Hill, the affable veterinarian, explained the steps needed for Max's recovery. "He's resilient," Dr. Hill noted, her smile encouraging. "With some care and proper nutrition, he'll be in top shape." The cost was hefty, a reality that brought with it a gnawing fear of inadequacy. Yet looking into Max's eyes, Emily knew she couldn't surrender now. Creativity needed to become her lifeline, a vehicle of both identity and payment. On the walk back, Emily allowed herself to dream of a future shaped not by constraint, but by the power of her own artistry. Max threaded through her legs, sheepish and buoyant, their dynamic already an unspoken pact of mutual redemption. Returning home, she immediately set her plan into motion. Reaching out to local cafes and small galleries, she pitched her vision, art intertwined with the narratives of resilience, captured through Max's and her own shared journey. Her hands, nimble and confident, transformed new canvases into testaments of hope, expressing the tenacity of the soul to rise above despair, to discover beauty in second chances. And so, in the small apartment painted with dreams, Emily and Max embarked on a journey towards renewal. Each day, as colors sprang to life beneath her brush, accompanied by Max's ever-growing vitality, she began to find the confidence she needed. Together, they would navigate the intrinsic essence of proving themselves against the odds, a young woman and a rescue dog, finding purpose within the stories only they could tell. As Emily eased open the door to her apartment, the familiar creak seemed louder in the chilled morning air. She could feel Max's uncertainty in his tentative movements, mirrored in her own fragile confidence. The apartment, small, cluttered with the vivid vestiges of her creative outbursts, welcomed them in a silent embrace of possibility and shelter, its walls echoing with the solitude she had grown accustomed to. Max, a whirl of fur and nerves, initially retreated into himself, withdrawing into a corner of the room as if bracing against unseen foes. Emily's heart ached at the sight, recognizing the fear in his liquid brown eyes as reflections of her own inner turmoil. The connection between them, though new and untested, was a sliver of shared understanding. It was in this unspoken bond that Emily found both comfort and resolve. "You're safe, Max," she whispered gently, the words a balm against the storm of anxiety swirling inside them both. "No one's going to hurt you here." She lowered herself to the floor, sitting cross-legged a respectful distance from Max, allowing him the space to absorb her presence at his own pace. She knew fostering trust was an art carefully crafted over time, demanding patience and vulnerability. Max watched her, his eyes wary yet filled with a flicker of curiosity, as if pondering the sincerity of her assurances. The air around them was still, heavy with the weight of their shared isolation, yet charged with the electric possibility of new beginnings. Emily resisted the urge to reach out immediately, remembering Jessica's advice about giving animals the chance to approach on their own terms. "Let him come to you," Jessica had said with the wisdom of her own experiences. "Trust builds slowly, but it lasts." In those initial moments, Emily busied herself with an unobtrusive activity, tidying her room, a sanctuary of cluttered creativity. She gently organized tubes of paint, stacked canvases that chronicled past aspirations, all the while keeping Max within her peripheral gaze. It was a delicate dance of presence, allowing him to become accustomed to her without the pressure of engagement. Gradually, Max's tremors began to subside, his breathing slowing to match the rhythmic quiet of the room. Drawn by the soft hustle of Emily's movements, he took a step forward, then another. The sound of his small paws patting against the hardwood was a tender prelude to a symphony of shared trust and exploration. At the sight of this timid progress, Emily's heart swelled with a fragile bloom of hope. She placed a small bowl of water nearby, watching as Max approached with tiny steps fueled by hesitant curiosity. His nose quivered, sniffing the air before he daringly lowered his head to lap at the water, each cautious sip a triumph against his latent apprehensions. Encouraged by this moment, Emily retrieved a handful of dog treats, coaxing Max with a promise of something tangible and immediate. She placed one on her palm, extending it slowly, holding her breath as she patiently waited. Max hesitated, his eyes flicking between her face and the offering, before he inched closer, gingerly snatching the treat with a delicate nibble. A tentative wag of his tail followed, a tiny movement that sent ripples of joy across Emily's heart. It was a silent assertion of tentative acceptance, an acknowledgement not just of the treat but of each other's presence. "Good boy, Max," she praised softly, her voice laced with genuine warmth, weaving threads of bonding stronger with each passing interaction. As the hours melted into the afternoon, Max settled, choosing a spot close to Emily as she sat with her sketchbook resting on her knees. She captured his likeness with a few deliberate strokes, the sketch slowly coming to life under her meticulous attention. She was reminded of the emotional parallels they shared, both lost and found in their respective worlds. The act of drawing calmed her, the familiar texture of graphite trailing across paper renewing her focus, pulling her from drifting thoughts and worries. As she sketched, Max watched her intently, his expressive eyes tracking the rhythmic movement of her hand. Every now and then, he would let out a tiny sigh, the soft sound threading through the silence like a gentle affirmation of their fragile trust. Days passed in a mosaic of small victories and gentle progress. Each morning began with a wary glance and ended with Max curled at Emily's feet, a sentinel of loyalty and courage. The bond between them grew, rooted not just in shared space but in the rhythmic dance of trust unfolding in the simplicity of routine gestures. Emily found comfort in the stability Max brought to her life, his companionship quietly bolstering her spirit. She was no longer alone in the shelter of her art-smattered walls. She had found a muse in Max, an inspiration that reignited her creative flame and pushed her to weave their narrative into her works. Art became a language of healing, a testament to resilience, capturing the essence of Max's transformation alongside her own. Occasionally, Emily would catch glimpses of Max's happiness, moments when he'd playfully tug at a rag toy or waddle excitedly as she returned home. These flashes of joy, brief and bright, like summer sunlight piercing through a storm, convinced her the beauty in what they were building together, a life colored by the strokes of hope, as vibrant and tangible as the paint staining her fingers. The growing connection with Max emboldened Emily, allowing her to embrace the unknown with a courage she had been unaware of possessing. Each small step in their journey marked a victory against the whispers of doubt, a testament to the strength found in redemption and the discovery of purpose through companionship. And so, moving forward, Emily approached each day not as a relentless battle of existence, but as an opportunity for growth and sharing joy, a narrative she was willing to rewrite, with Max by her side in bold and unyielding lines. Together, they pieced their world back together, one brushstroke, one hesitant wag, and one gentle sketch at a time. As the winter sun crept sluggishly across the sky, casting long shadows through the frost-kissed windows of Emily's cramped apartment, her thoughts mingled with the sound of Max's hesitant movements. Each day unfurled as a tapestry of challenges and triumphs. How easily they mirrored each other's insecurities and the yearning for something more substantial, something real that defied the isolation both had known so intimately. Every step Max took was like watching the genesis of hope. His movements were gradual and halting at first, akin to Emily's own progress in confronting her demons. On days when her mind spiraled into the abyss of self-doubt, seeing Max take a step forward despite his evident fear reassured her that progress, however slow, was still progress. He became a living reflection of the journey she continuously waged within herself. The mornings were the hardest, that cusp of dawn when the world was still, awaiting the birth of new promises amidst lingering shadows. Emily often awoke with a gnawing thought of impending failure, magnified in the dim light before her resolve could catch up. In those moments, Max's gentle presence became a balm, a soft continuity she could rely upon, breaking the cycle of her solitude. "Good morning, Max," she would murmur, her voice the gentle caress over his soft, muddied fur as they began each day together. His tail would offer a tentative thump of acknowledgement, a sign that perhaps they were more alike than they appeared, both yearning for connection and acceptance in a world that seemed intent on denying them. As weeks painted the landscape of winter with varying shades of gray and frost, Max's presence invited Emily to see the ordinary anew. She observed how he'd pause at curtains fluttering in the breeze or at the unusual shape of his shadow on the wall, seemingly mesmerized by the simplest of things. Watching him, Emily learned to find extraordinary beauty in the mundane, relishing moments she would have previously overlooked, lost in the hurried landscape of her own troubles. Evenings were transformative. After a trying day of balancing work and fending off her own anxieties, Emily found solace in her elaborate dinners crafted with care, a ritual of restoration, where she hummed softly as she prepared meals, choreographing each sauté and stir in a dance of melody and movement. Max would watch intently, ears perked and eyes glistening, every so often lifting his nose to catch a whiff of delectable aromas. It was as though Emily's cooking and her art had become intertwined performances, a shared spectacle of sensory delight that she and Max both eagerly anticipated. One particular evening, as the aroma of roasting vegetables filled the cozy quarters, Emily decided to introduce Max to another taste of home, a tiny portion of the feast she prepared. She placed a carefully selected carrot slice onto his little plate. His reaction, momentary confusion giving way to curious excitement, was enough to earn a burst of laughter from Emily, who realized that even in small acts, she was extending warmth, bridging the chasm that had isolated them both. "Look at you, trying new things," she smiled, feeling the simple joy of the shared experience melt away the chill of the day. Max's now familiar tail wag was his response, an unspoken communication, a proclamation that perhaps, cautiously, he was beginning to trust the safety of this new world. Through the day's ever-growing trust, Emily found the courage to venture into avenues of creative expression she had previously abandoned out of fear of failure. With Max as her muse, she painted not only the silhouette of their journey, but infused her canvases with the essence of vulnerability, hope, and redemption that colored their lives. Each brushstroke was an articulation of emotion stirred by their shared growth, a visual sonnet crafted in hues of resilience. In moments when the shadows of doubt would creep back with malicious intent, Emily turned to her art as both weapon and shield. Every painting, every sketch became a dialogue with her fears, a battle fought in kaleidoscopic bursts across blank canvases, declared boldly in the vocabulary of colors. Max, at times slumbering by her side, other times curled at her feet while she worked, was her silent ally in the war against encroaching shadows. They were building something real, one cautious connection at a time, a life attuned to understanding the intricate tapestries of love and survival, faith and identity. As they moved forward, Emily realized her perspective had shifted. It was no longer a relentless battle against the grays of despair, but an opportunity to color each day with possibility, reinterpret setbacks as lessons, and view her struggles as the fertile ground from which resilience sprang. Their partnership fortified Emily in ways she had never anticipated. Max's trust became the anchor, rooting her firmly when self-doubt threatened her foundation. By allowing herself to rediscover the world through his eyes, Emily let go of the past's haunting grip, embracing a narrative of renewal that resounded beyond the canvases she adorned with their story. Such days of crafted understanding, where each gesture and shared glance pulled Emily from the monochrome whispers of her old world into a kaleidoscope of growth, proved that redemption was not a distant dream but a living, breathing reality nurtured through patience and empathy. And so, the roller coaster of emotions, each dip into fear, each climb towards peace, transformed into a symphony where high notes of joy, though unexpected, harmonized perfectly with the deeper undertones of love and perseverance, telling a shared story in every rhythmic rise and fall. Emily and Max were no longer passengers but composers of their own hope-filled cadence, conducting a life authentically colored together. As the whispers of dawn subsided and gave way to the soft murmur of city life awakening outside her window, Emily stretched her fingers out of their tangled nest of sleep. Her fingertips brushed against the warmth of Max, curled loyally beside her, his shallow breaths a steady rhythm in the morning stillness. The gray light filtering through the curtains cast a silver sheen over his russet fur, and Emily couldn't help but draw comfort from his unwavering presence. These were the moments that had become her anchor, when the world was reborn each morning, offering another chance to conquer the lingering ghosts of self-doubt. Today felt different, charged with a tangible sense of possibility. Perhaps it was the renewed confidence she felt when Max leapt from the bed with a youthful agility that belied his past wounds, tail wagging with an enthusiasm that seemed to say, "Today is for us." With Max at her heels, Emily set about preparing breakfast, a ritual that had transformed from mundane necessity to a shared communion of sorts. The radio played softly in the background, filling the kitchen with a medley of jazzy piano notes that set the pace for cracking eggs and slicing bread. Max observed her every move, his eyes alight with curiosity, a testament to the remarkable resilience encapsulated within his small frame. "Well, good morning to you too, Mr. Bright Eyes." Emily laughed as Max nudged her leg gently, seeking affirmation that he was a part of this unfolding narrative. His antics imbued her with a warmth that melted away the palpable anxiety of facing another uncertain day. With breakfast done, Emily turned her attention to her art supplies, nestled in the corner of the room by the window where light danced with unrestrained freedom. A canvas awaited her, a blank expanse longing to capture the effervescent union of hope and resilience that Emily now saw mirrored in Max, and by extension, within herself. As she stood before the canvas, washing her brushes with intent and mixing vibrant hues, Emily pondered the upcoming art expo. The invitation to showcase her work had been a surprise, a serendipitous intersection of timing and opportunity. She hesitated at first, fearing the exposure of vulnerability inherent in revealing her journey through her paintings. But a determined nudge from Max, as if sensing the gravity of her decision and choosing to defy its weight, had resolved her doubts with undeniable clarity. "Looks like it's happening after all, Max," she said softly, dipping her brush into the colors she'd chosen, deep blues melding into fiery oranges, capturing the moments when their paths intertwined. Max responded with a bark sharp and lively, as though seconding her declaration with a pledge of solidarity. His trust endowed her strokes with precision, and each blend of pigment resonated with the authenticity of their shared experiences. The story Emily painted was not solely hers. It was a tapestry of healing, woven with the threads of hope and partnership, a testament to their journey from shadowed pasts into a more luminously defined presence. Time slipped by unnoticed, measured not in minutes, but in the steady beating of their hearts, two souls synchronized in pursuit of a better tomorrow. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, filling the room with a glow that felt almost celebratory, Emily stepped back to observe her latest creation. There on the canvas was a portrait not just of a dog and his human, but of a deeper kinship that reclaimed forgotten avenues of joy and discovery. The day of the expo arrived bathed in hues of early spring, the city bustling with renewed optimism. Emily, adjusting the strap of her bag with a nervous heart thumping in tandem with intervals of excitement, was accompanied by Max at her side. His presence was her anchor, reminding her that her worth was not defined by the accolades received or the judgments passed by others. The gallery buzzed with activity, people mingled, animated by the free-flowing wine and shared appreciation of art. Emily felt a stir of excitement tempered by vulnerability as strangers approached her paintings, each piece a tangible fragment of her soul laid bare for the world to see. And yet, each nod of appreciation, each earnest exchange of understanding with attendees fed a growing sense of empowerment within her. She found herself engaging with them, recounting the tales behind her works, where hardship intersected with hope and life melted into each brushstroke. Midway through the event, as dusk began to flirt playfully with the horizon, Emily noticed a woman, her eyes bright with unshed tears, hovering tentatively near one of her paintings. The piece depicted a moment of many, Max playfully bounding through a meadow, his fur alight with sunshine, representing the freedom from his past chains. Approaching her, the woman spoke with a tender tremor. "There's something about this piece that resonates with me deeply. The way it captures the spirit of second chances. It's something I needed to see." Her voice wavered, but delivered strength. "Is this your dog?" she asked, glancing down at Max, who responded with a characteristic tail wag that could chase away any lingering shadows. Emily nodded, emotions welling up within her. "Yes, this is Max. We found each other when we needed it the most. Creating these paintings was my way of understanding that rescue goes both ways." The woman offered Emily a soft smile, one that spoke of unspoken understanding and shared reflection. "Thank you for sharing this part of yourself. Inspiring." As the evening drew to a close and the last of the visitors bid their farewells, Emily found herself standing amidst her artwork, cradled by a sense of fulfillment that neither success nor failure could alter. The triumph lay not in accolades, but in the realization that she, alongside Max, had stepped into the profound realm of impact. Their narrative had become a story of affirmation, a boundless circle where recognition and acknowledgement flowed seamlessly, blending shadows into luminous revelations. And in that moment, Emily understood that they were no longer searching for spaces to fill, but had become creators of their own identities, messengers of change whose journey was in its own right, a narrative of triumph and grace. With Max by her side, they walked homeward under the starlit canopy, an ensemble of trust and spirit revealing that their story had indeed just begun. Each step echoed the promise of new horizons, an endless journey of discovery, where redemption and growth shaped every sunrise shared between them. Dusk had begun its gentle descent, painting the sky in hues of amber and deepened indigo as Emily and Max strolled back home from the bustling art expo. The streets were alive with the echoes of laughter and the distant hum of traffic, yet Emily's thoughts were adrift, buoyed by the evening's unexpected warmth and connection. She glanced down at Max, his tail wagging contentedly, his presence as tangible as the earth beneath her feet. They were halfway across the busy intersection near the park, the one Max always loved to explore, when the world tilted sharply off its axis. It was a moment spun from fragments, a distant shout, a screech of tires, and then Max, darting forward with instinctual haste, driven by a sound or scent only he perceived. His leash slipped from her fingers like a lifeline snapping, and the chaotic city seemed to pause, breathless and suspended, as Emily's heart dropped into a cold, dark chasm. No! Her scream tore through the air, slicing through the cacophony as her legs willed her into motion. But it was all too fast. The symmetry of panic and hope, spiraling into a single heartbeat, was shattered by the harsh impact of metal against fragile bone. Max's yelp echoed, a haunting melody of pain that reverberated within her soul as the car sped away, a shadow that vanished into the growing darkness. Suddenly, the world was a blur, sketched in monochrome fear. Emily fell to her knees beside Max, who lay still on the asphalt, his lifeless form a cruel parody of sleep. The warmth of tears cascaded down her cheeks, drowning the air around her in unspoken pleas and prayers that felt futile. Her fingers brushed gingerly over his fur, grounding her to the certainty that this was not some cruel dream from which she could awaken. "Please, please hold on, Max," she whispered, her voice a fragile vine clinging to the aftermath of calamity. Strangers gathered, silhouettes of sympathy casting long shadows on the pavement. Someone called for help while others offered words meant to console, their murmurs wrapping around her heart in fragmented gestures. The wait for help was interminable, an endless stretch of time that blurred the edges of reality into a collage of fleeting moments, flashing emergency lights, the faint siren wails approaching, and the gentle hands of the paramedics easing Max onto a stretcher, their movements a ballet of urgency and precision. Through it all, Max's eyes fluttered open, finding Emily's amidst the chaos, a silent promise passing between them, binding love and resilience. The ride to the veterinary hospital was silent, punctuated only by the rhythmic toll of the vehicle on the street and the soft, labored breaths coming from Max. Emily clutched his paw, her fingers squeezed tight around the small gesture of life pulsing beneath his skin. Her mind cluttered with regrets, of things left unsaid, paths not taken where she could have shielded him from fate's merciless hand. It was a vigil kept in silence, where hope was sacred and despair an unwelcome guest. "One step at a time, Max," she murmured as they arrived, her voice laden with a raw, unfiltered cocktail of desperation and determination. A team of veterinary staff whisked Max away, leaving Emily in the waiting room, the sterile smell permeating her senses. The quiet murmur of the TV, the hum of overhead lights, it all contributed to the eerie suspension of reality where time felt disjointed, measured by nothing but the wild, erratic beats of her heart. The minutes blurred into an indistinguishable haze. Her eyes darted between the clock on the wall and the door, waiting for someone to re-emerge with news. Any news. Hours tumbled past with the relentless grind of desolation, punctuated by the occasional disruptive reminder of the world outside continuing unabated. When the door finally swung open, a vet emerged, her face the canvas of practiced calm, a mantle of responsibility carefully masking the unspoken truth beneath. Emily stood, her legs unsure, her heart fighting against the tremors of anxious resolve. "Emily?" "Max is stable for now," the vet said, her voice warm but tinged with caution. Emily absorbed the words like precious lifeblood, feeling their weight and the burden they carried. "He's suffered some internal injuries. We'll need to keep him under observation, but he's a fighter. What happens next is up to him." Emily nodded, her voice catching in her throat as she whispered, "Can I see him?" When she was finally led to Max's side, her heart twisted at the sight. He lay small and vulnerable beneath the gentle fabric of care, a myriad of tubes and machines snaking around him like lifelines, anchoring him to the world. Yet, even amidst the tangled web of medical intervention, he appeared serene, his chest rising and falling with a tentative rhythm of fragile hope. Emily's heart ached with the gravity of their situation, but was punctuated by a fierce resolve. There would be no surrender, not from Max, not yet. Gently, she placed her hand on his paw, whispering stories of resilience and adventures yet to be had, of endless walks down sunlit paths, and the soft warmth of blankets shared on quiet evenings. She spoke of dreams unspoken, allowing her voice to fill the sterile room with promises of a tomorrow worth fighting for. In that dim-lit sanctuary, amidst the beeping of machines and the whisper of air vents, Emily remembered the strength in vulnerability, recognizing the fragile moments that stitched lives together in a tapestry of resilience painted with threads of hope. Her love for Max was boundless, woven with every heartbeat that tethered him to life, illuminating their uncertain path with the brightest promise of shared bravery. As the hours wore on, Emily remained by Max's side, ever vigilant and unwavering, her her mind sifting through a spectrum of dreams, of healing, of renewed beginnings, beckoning Max's spirit back to the vibrant tapestry of their entwined destinies. Together, they would traverse this unforgiving chapter with hearts made bold by love, their inseparable bond chiseling hope from the stone of despair. Max's fight for survival became a symbol of resilience, echoing through Emily's soul with every beat of her heart. She stood vigil in the sterile brilliance of the veterinary hospital, her eyes fixed on the rise and fall of Max's chest, as if willing each breath to bring him strength. It was a fragile symphony played out amidst the muted beeps of machines and the soft shuffle of professionals weaving around them. Max lay motionless, his tiny form swallowed by the stark hospital bedding. A cascade of tubes crisscrossed over him like webs spun by fate, each one a lifeline clinging desperately to the hope tethered by Emily's presence. As Emily sat, her hand intertwined gently with his paw, stories flowed from her as though the words themselves could knit together his wounds. She murmured to him about golden mornings yet to unfold, where sunlight spilled across dewy grass and they'd chase dreams in the rustle of leaves, a promise of new tomorrows. Her voice barely a whisper in the quiet room, Emily leaned nearer, her forehead against his, sharing not just warmth but the rhythm of her resolve. It was as if through her touch, she could lend him her strength, a silent pact against the cruel whims of destiny. "Stay with me, Max," she urged softly, the words a tender nudge against the fragility of hope. Fatigue beckoned with relentless persistence, yet Emily refused its embrace. Instead, she drew strength from every steadfast pulse beneath her fingers, her breath in harmony with the steady drone of medical apparatus. She watched the procession of shadows pass over the windows, time a fluid concept marked only by the changes in light. The hospital became a world unto itself, a haven tethered between despair and possibility. Emily became familiar with its rhythmic cadence, the soft exchanges of veterinary staff, the ebb and flow of fluorescent lights, and the occasional crescendos of more urgent disturbances sounding from rooms farther down the hall. Still, her focus never wavered from Max, her mind cataloging the beauty of their shared journey while awaiting the dawn of his new fight. On the cusp of dawn, when the shadows began to retreat from the encroaching light of day, Max stirred. His movement was slight, a gentle twitch of his paw, or the fluttering tremor of eyelids lost between dreams and reality. But to Emily, it was a monumental shift, a harbinger of returning life. Her heart leaped, her whisper now an anthem of encouragement woven through the early morning silence. As if sensing her devotion spooled through every thread of hope, Max opened his eyes, finding Emily's amidst the fading darkness. Their shared glance contained multitudes, a bridge built on their implicit trust, and the assurance of unwavering connection. Emily's tears fell unchecked, a release of pent-up emotion now streaming forth in gratitude and love, bathing Max with a promise of all they had yet to experience. In those moments, Emily was awash with a cathartic clarity. She understood the haunting burden of loss teetering on the precipice of their lives, yet she chose to embrace the powerful antidote offered by their love. Max, in his silent courage, had taught her that vulnerability was not a weakness, but resilience lit brightly in the face of adversity. The vet returned, her soft-souled stride cautious yet hopeful. "He's responding well," she murmured, her voice a soothing balm of professional reassurance. "We'll monitor him closely, but things are looking better. He has a strong spirit." Emily nodded, the swelling relief threading through her heart. Her fingers gently stroked Max's fur, a gesture brimming with comfort and a vow of undying loyalty. In his eyes, she glimpsed not just the reflection of her own strength but an inkling of indomitable courage yet to be unleashed. Hours cascaded into days, each marked by Max's gradual healing and Emily's unwavering presence. They carved out new rhythms within those hospital walls, each moment a testament to resilience wrapped in a layer of love. Max's recovery, though slow, became an emblem of shared triumph, a journey that reinforced their bond and gave color to Emily's expressive canvases. As Max's vitality returned, so too did his personality, a playful spirit reigniting beneath the graying hospital lights. His wagging tail became a herald of impending victories, each strong beat against the sterile air echoing Emily's own re-emerging hope. His small recoveries, tentative attempts at standing, an affectionate nuzzle passed from him to her, became monuments to their shared fortitude. Finally, the day arrived when Emily and Max left the hospital together, the threshold a symbolic crossing from survival back into life. Their footsteps echoed a new cadence on the city streets, marking not just a return to what was familiar, but an arrival at what was possible. Through the motions of a world tremulous with anticipation, Emily had rediscovered herself alongside Max's journey. In saving Max, she unearthed her own capacity for boundless love, her ability to nurture hope even when its light seemed buried beneath darkness. Together, they walked under a sky now dazzling with the clarity of countless possibilities. The universe stretched out before them, a canvas of infinite hues, a vibrant testament to the resilience nestled within their hearts. And in that shared journey, Emily and Max embraced not just the dreams they had restored, but the brighter futures they continue to paint, forever entwined in an unbreakable dance of hope and courage. Stepping into the sunlit world from the sterile confines of the hospital felt like emerging from the dark cocoon into a bright, promising spring for Emily and Max. The city thrummed with life around them, its familiar cacophony now a comforting symphony of renewal. With Max trotting confidently by her side, Emily felt emboldened by the resilience they had both shown. This newfound strength whispered of opportunities waiting to unfold, a chance to redefine purpose and embrace the beauty in unexpected paths. It was during one of their walks through her neighborhood, a tapestry of vibrant cultures and stories, that Emily stumbled upon a modest brick building nestled at the end of a quaint street. Its window, brimming with colorful flyers and community notices, spoke to the dreams and initiatives of countless souls seeking change. An unassuming sign announced community animal shelter and outreach, the name echoing in her mind like a call to action. Drawn inside by curiosity and an inexplicable pull, Emily found herself greeted by a symphony of barks and the scent of care and camaraderie. The shelter buzzed with volunteers, their hands extending kindness to the multitude of critters in cages and pens. Bright eyes peered out eagerly, claws clicking on metal bars, hoping for the love and redemption Max had once found with Emily. "Hi, can I help you?" A gentle voice cut through the symphony, pulling Emily from her reverie. A woman clad in a t-shirt depicting a cartoon dog approached, her eyes reflecting warmth and kindness. Emily hesitated, words mingling with emotion in her throat. "I'm Emily, and this is Max," she finally said, gesturing to her four-legged companion who watched curiously. "I really want to help, to give back what Max has given me." The volunteer's smile widened, a contagious enthusiasm sparking in her gaze. "Wonderful," she replied, extending a welcoming hand. "I'm Laura. We're always looking for people who understand the healing power of animals, who've experienced it firsthand." As Laura led Emily around, introducing her to the heartbeat of the shelter, Emily absorbed every detail, the joy and the melancholy, the resilience and longing. Each creature told its own story, etched in countless glances and wagging tails. Yet, amid this symphony of hope and need, something shifted within Emily, a realization crystallizing like morning frost transforming into sunny dew. It was here she could entwine her passion for art and her newfound calling. The idea, bold yet simple, took root. She would use her art to narrate the stories of these animals, to paint their tales of resilience and tenacity, and encourage the world to see their beauty and worth. Her paintings could serve as windows into their souls, bridging the gap from potential adopters to those who needed homes. The seed planted in Emily's heart began to blossom into action. She proposed the idea of art-based outreach to Laura, her words tumbling over one another in their eagerness to escape into the world. "I could paint portraits of these animals, and we could hold an exhibition," Emily suggested, her cheeks flushed with excitement. Not only could it raise awareness and funds for the shelter, but could also help people connect with these animals on a deeper level. Laura clapped her hands together, delight evident in her wide-eyed approval. "Emily, that's an amazing idea. Art has this incredible power to move and connect us. Let's make this happen." And so Emily's days began to weave a new tapestry of purpose, her mornings and evenings spent amidst the vibrant kaleidoscope of the shelter's residents. With Max as her constant companion, she found new muses in each wagging tail and hopeful gaze. Inspired by their endurance, she sought to echo their stories on canvas. As colors swirled under her brush, Emily lost herself in each piece, infusing every stroke with the emotions and resilience of her subjects. The bond she shared with Max opened her eyes to the intricate dance of vulnerability and strength within every creature, every story. She captured not only their physical likeness but their indomitable will to hope and love despite adversity. Weeks turned into months, and the art exhibition began to take shape, a celebration of life, second chances, and the unbreakable ties of love. Posters for the event adorned streets and cafes, each emblazoned with vibrant snippets of Emily's evolving work alongside images of the featured animals, including Max. The city buzzed with anticipation, and Emily felt the thrill of nervous energy twine with hope. On the day of the exhibition, the gallery hummed with anticipation. Vibrant canvases lined the walls, each a beacon of the resilience and beauty Emily had sought to portray. An air of expectation trailed through the room, mingling with the rustle of garments and soft murmurs of guests drawn to the stories brought to life through Emily's art. As people wandered from piece to piece, Emily watched, her heart swelling at the expressions of connection sparked by her work. Some smiled softly, others blinked back tears, yet all seemed to move closer to the realization Emily yearned to share, that love and redemption can be found in every glance, every wag, every playful nudge. The climax of the evening unfolded as Laura took the stage, her voice a clarion call brimming with gratitude. "Each painting you see is not just a work of art," she began, sweeping a hand across the room. "They are portraits of hope, created by someone who understands the transformative power of love and resilience." Emily stood beside her, feeling Max nudge her leg in quiet encouragement. As they acknowledged her contributions and the impact of the exhibition, Emily felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. The event was not merely about art or animals, but a testament to the transformative journey she and Max had shared, a journey born from their shared survival and triumph. Amidst the applause and admiration, potential adopters came forward, eager to meet the animals whose tales they had admired on canvas, whose unyielding spirits had moved their hearts. People left not only with admiration for art, but with a deeper understanding of the creatures seeking homes and second chances. That night, as Emily walked back home with Max, her path illuminated by the glow of the city, she felt a profound peace settle within her. Discovering purpose here had been more than saving Max or painting their journey. It had been about finding her voice, her calling, and the courage to wield them for good. In their small cocoon, shared stillness stretched into dreams yet to be discovered, hope painted vividly across the horizon, a testament to the boundless possibilities of love and resilience, all waiting to be embraced with every step forward. Stepping into the sunlit world from the sterile confines of the hospital felt like emerging from a dark cocoon into a bright spring for Emily and Max. The city thrummed with life around them, its familiar cacophony now a comforting symphony of renewal. With Max trotting confidently by her side, Emily felt the resilience they had both shown seep into her heart, transforming it into newfound strength and hope. Somewhere amidst the day's chatter and laughter, she realized there were opportunities waiting to unfold, chances to redefine her purpose and embrace the beauty of unexpected paths. During one of their walks through her neighborhood, a tapestry alive with vibrant cultures and stories, Emily came upon a modest brick building nestled at the end of a quaint street. The window, brimming with colorful flyers and community notices, spoke to the dreams and initiatives of countless souls seeking change. An unassuming sign announced Community Animal Shelter and Outreach, the name echoing in Emily's mind like a call to action. Drawn inside by curiosity and an inexplicable pull, Emily found herself enveloped by a tableau of barking chaos and a scent of care and camaraderie. Volunteers bustled about the shelter, their hands extending acts of kindness to the multitude of critters in cages and pens. Bright eyes peered out eagerly, hope-filled paws clicked on metal bars, seeking the love and redemption Max had found with Emily. "Hi, can I help you?" A gentle voice pierced through the symphony, pulling Emily from her reverie. A woman clad in a t-shirt depicting a cartoon dog approached, her eyes a kind reflection of warmth and kindness. Emily hesitated, emotions mingling with unspoken words in her throat. "I'm Emily, and this is Max," she finally offered, gesturing to her four-legged companion who watched curiously. "I really want to help, to give back what Max has given me." The volunteer's smile widened, her eyes gleaming with contagious enthusiasm. "Wonderful," she replied, extending a welcoming hand. "I'm Laura. We're always looking for people who understand the healing power of animals, who've experienced it firsthand." As Laura led Emily around, showing her the heartbeat of the shelter, Emily absorbed every detail. The joy mingled with melancholy, the resilience intertwined with longing. Each creature told its own story, visible in countless glances and hopeful wags. Yet, amid this symphony of hope and need, Emily felt something shift within her, a realization crystallizing like dewdrops under the morning sun. It was here that she could meld her artistic passion with her newfound calling. The idea, both bold and simple, took root. She would narrate these animal stories through her art, painting tales of resilience and tenacity, urging the world to see their beauty and worth. Her paintings could serve as windows into their souls, bridging the gap between potential adopters and those eager for a home. The seed planted in Emily's heart sprouted into action, She suggested her concept of an art-based outreach to Laura, her words tumbling out in a rush, eager to shape the world. "I could paint portraits of these animals, and we could hold an exhibition," Emily suggested, her cheeks flush with excitement. "It wouldn't just raise awareness and funds for the shelter. It could help people connect with these animals on a deeper level." Laura clapped her hands together, a sparkle of delight widening her eyes. "Emily, that's an incredible idea. Art has a magical, undeniable power to connect and move us. Let's make it happen." In this newfound sanctuary, Emily began to weave a tapestry of purpose, her mornings and evenings spent amidst the vibrant kaleidoscope of the shelter's residents. Max, her constant companion, provided new muses in every wagging tail and eager gaze. Inspired by their endurance, she echoed their tales on canvas. The colors swirled under her brush, each stroke infused with the emotions and resilience of her subjects. The bond she shared with Max had opened Emily's eyes to the intricate dance of vulnerability and strength within each creature's story. She painted not only their physical likeness but their unyielding will to hope and love despite life's adversities. Weeks turned into months, and the art exhibition began to take form, a celebration of life, second chances, and the unbreakable ties of love. Posters of the event adorned streets and cafes, showcasing vibrant snippets of Emily's evolving work alongside images of the featured animals, including Max. The city buzzed with anticipation, and Emily felt her spirit soar with the thrill of nervous energy twined with hope. On the day of the exhibition, the gallery hummed with anticipation. Walls came alive with vibrant canvases, each a testament to the resilience and beauty Emily had faithfully captured. An expectancy hung in the air, mingling with the rustle of garments and soft murmurs of guests drawn to the stories her art brought to life. As people wandered from piece to piece, Emily watched them, her heart swelling as connections sparked through her work. Some smiled softly, others blinked back tears, yet all seemed to profoundly embrace the realization Emily yearned to share, that love and redemption can be found in every glance, every wag, every playful nudge. The evening's climax unfolded as Laura took the stage, her voice brimming with gratitude. "Each painting you see is not just a work of art," she began, spreading her hands to encompass the room. "They are portraits of hope, created by someone who deeply understands the transformative power of love and resilience." Standing beside Laura, Emily felt Max nudge her leg, offering quiet encouragement. As they acknowledged her contributions and the impact of the exhibition, Emily felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. This event was not merely about art or animals. It was an affirmation of the transformative journey she and Max had endured, a journey marked by survival and triumphant renewal. Amidst applause and admiration, potential adopters came forward, eager to meet the animals whose tales they had admired on canvas, moved by souls of unyielding spirit. People left not only with admiration for art but with a newfound understanding of the creatures seeking homes and second chances. As Emily returned home with Max that night, their path illuminated by the city's soft glow, a profound peace settled within her. Discovering purpose and helping here had been about more than saving Max or painting their journey. It was in finding her voice and the courage to wield it for a cause greater than herself. In their quiet haven, stillness stretched into dreams yet to be unveiled. Hope painted vividly on the horizon, a testament to the boundless possibilities born of love and resilience, waiting to unfold with every step forward. Stepping into the sunlit world from the sterile confines of the hospital felt like emerging from a dark cocoon into a bright spring for Emily and Max. The city thrummed with life around them, its familiar cacophony now a comforting symphony of renewal. With Max trotting confidently by her side, Emily felt the resilience they had both shown seep into her heart, transforming it into newfound strength and hope. Somewhere amidst the day's chatter and laughter, she realized there were opportunities waiting to unfold, chances to redefine her purpose and embrace the beauty of unexpected paths. During one of their walks through her neighborhood, a tapestry alive with vibrant cultures and stories, Emily came upon a modest brick building nestled at the end of a quaint street. The window, brimming with colorful flyers and community notices, spoke to the dreams and initiatives of countless souls seeking change. An unassuming sign announced Community Animal Shelter and Outreach, the name echoing in Emily's mind like a call to action. Drawn inside by curiosity and an inexplicable pull, Emily found herself enveloped by a tableau of barking chaos and a scent of care and camaraderie. Volunteers bustled about the shelter, their hands extending acts of kindness to the multitude of critters in cages and pens. Bright eyes peered out eagerly, Hope-filled paws clicked on metal bars, seeking the love and redemption Max had found with Emily. "Hi, can I help you?" A gentle voice pierced through the symphony, pulling Emily from her reverie. A woman clad in a t-shirt depicting a cartoon dog approached, her eyes a kind reflection of warmth and kindness. Emily hesitated, emotions mingling with unspoken words in her throat. "I'm Emily, and this is Max," she finally offered, gesturing to her four-legged companion who watched curiously. "I really want to help, to give back what Max has given me." The volunteer's smile widened, her eyes gleaming with contagious enthusiasm. "Wonderful," she replied, extending a welcoming hand. "I'm Laura. We're always looking for people who understand the healing power of animals, who've experienced it firsthand." As Laura led Emily around, showing her the heartbeat of the shelter, Emily absorbed every detail. The joy mingled with melancholy, the resilience intertwined with longing. Each creature told its own story, visible in countless glances and hopeful wags. Yet, amid this symphony of hope and need, Emily felt something shift within her, a realization crystallizing like dewdrops under the morning sun. It was here that she could meld her artistic passion with her newfound calling. The idea, both bold and simple, took root. She would narrate these animal stories through her art, painting tales of resilience and tenacity, urging the world to see their beauty and worth. Her paintings could serve as windows into their souls, bridging the gap between potential adopters and those eager for a home. The seed planted in Emily's heart sprouted into action. She suggested her concept of an art-based outreach to Laura, her words tumbling out in a rush, eager to shape the world. "I could paint portraits of these animals, and we could hold an exhibition," Emily suggested, her cheeks flush with excitement. "It wouldn't just raise awareness and funds for the shelter. It could help people connect with these animals on a deeper level." Laura clapped her hands together, a sparkle of delight widening her eyes. "Emily, that's an incredible idea. Art has a magical, undeniable power to connect and move us. Let's make it happen." In this newfound sanctuary, Emily began to weave a tapestry of purpose, her mornings and evenings spent amidst the vibrant kaleidoscope of the shelter's residents. Max, her constant companion, provided new muses in every wagging tail and eager gaze. Inspired by their endurance, she echoed their tales on canvas. The colors swirled under her brush, each stroke infused with the emotions and resilience of her subjects. The bond she shared with Max had opened Emily's eyes to the intricate dance of vulnerability and strength within each creature's story. She painted not only their physical likeness but their unyielding will to hope and love despite life's adversities. Weeks turned into months, and the art exhibition began to take form, a celebration of life, second chances, and the unbreakable ties of love. Posters of the event adorned streets and cafes, showcasing vibrant snippets of Emily's evolving work alongside images of the featured animals, including Max. The city buzzed with anticipation, and Emily felt her spirit soar with the thrill of nervous energy twined with hope. On the day of the exhibition, the gallery hummed with anticipation. Walls came alive with vibrant canvases, each a testament to the resilience and beauty Emily had faithfully captured. An expectancy hung in the air, mingling with the rustle of garments and soft murmurs of guests drawn to the stories her art brought to life. As people wandered from piece to piece, Emily watched them, her heart swelling as connections sparked through her work. Some smiled softly, others blinked back tears, yet all seemed to profoundly embrace the realization Emily yearned to share, that love and redemption can be found in every glance, every wag, every playful nudge. The evening's climax unfolded as Laura took the stage, her voice brimming with gratitude. "Each painting you see is not just a work of art," she began, spreading her hands to encompass the room. "They are portraits of hope, created by someone who deeply understands the transformative power of love and resilience." Standing beside Laura, Emily felt Max nudge her leg, offering quiet encouragement. As they acknowledged her contributions and the impact of the exhibition, Emily felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. This event was not merely about art or animals. It was an affirmation of the transformative journey she and Max had endured, a journey marked by survival and triumphant renewal. Amidst applause and admiration, potential adopters came forward, eager to meet the animals whose tales they had admired on canvas, moved by souls of unyielding spirit. People left not only with admiration for art but with a newfound understanding of the creatures seeking homes and second chances. As Emily returned home with Max that night, their path illuminated by the city's soft glow, a profound peace settled within her. Discovering purpose and helping here had been about more than saving Max or painting their journey. It was in finding her voice and the courage to wield it for a cause greater than herself. In their quiet haven, stillness stretched into dreams yet to be unveiled. Hope painted vividly on the horizon, a testament to the boundless possibilities born of love and resilience, waiting to unfold with every step forward. Stepping into the bustling gallery on the night of the exhibition, Emily felt the flutter of nerves in her stomach, a vibrant mix of excitement and vulnerability. Her exhibition, Unleashed, Tales of Resilience, was not just a collection of artworks but a testament to her journey with Max and the countless other stories that had intersected with hers. As she navigated through the crowd, every glance cast her way was a reminder of the deep, raw emotion and the intricate web of resilience her art sought to convey. Emily stood by the entrance, Max sitting proudly by her side, his tail swishing the ground in lazy contentment. The gallery was a kaleidoscope of life, every wall adorned with her vibrant paintings, each render encapsulating tales of courage, survival, and undying hope. She had painted with bold strokes, capturing the essence of each animal's story, the gleam in an eye, the curve of a shyly offered paw, the untold stories of lives yearning for redemption and love. Around her, guests drifted amid the canvases, their conversations a melodic undertone that resonated in the space. Some paused thoughtfully in front of pieces, their faces reflecting the emotions Emily had labored to display. Others discussed the plight and potential of adoption, their voices dipping into empathy and compassion. Emily could see Laura, her animated gestures weaving through the tour she led, motioning toward the art that embodied the heartbeats of countless lives. "Emily, these are extraordinary." A voice broke through her reverie, a familiar warm voice that tugged at Emily's heart. She turned to face Ethan, her childhood friend and an unwavering supporter she hadn't seen in months. His smile was as genuine as she remembered, eyes full of admiration as they took in the artwork surrounding them. "Ethan," Emily replied, her voice laced with delight and surprise. "I'm so glad you could make it. It means the world to see you here." Ethan moved forward, enveloping her in a quick, warm hug. "I wouldn't have missed it for anything. What you've done here." He paused, gesturing around, overwhelmed. "It's powerful. It's like you've captured the very essence of each life." His words, earnest and sincere, swelled within Emily like a golden warmth. She recalled the many nights spent immersed in her work, the moments of doubt and the push to convey the poignant stories that had become her mission. "Thank you," Emily whispered, her voice catching with emotion. "It's been a path of healing and discovery for me, more than I ever imagined." As the night waned, an air of optimism and purpose lingered, threading through the patrons who explored more than just art. Encouraged by the emotional resonance of the paintings, several visitors came forward, pledging support to the shelter and expressing interest in adoption. Amidst these conversations, connections formed, the silent, deeper bonds that transcended mere admiration toward action and advocacy. Laura took the podium as the evening's zenith approached, her presence grounding and filled with an energetic sincerity. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. What you see here is more than art. It's a journey, a testament to love, resilience, and the power of second chances," she began, her voice drawing every gaze toward the front. "And this journey, made possible by Emily and Max, reminds us all of the potential within every heart, waiting for a chance to unfold." Laura's words hung in the air, crystallizing into an applause that echoed through the gallery, each clap a tribute to the essence of change Emily hoped to invoke. Standing at Laura's side, Max nudged Emily's leg, grounding her in this surreal moment of joy and fulfillment. Emily stepped forward, gratitude painting across her features as she addressed the room. "Thank you all for being part of this journey with us," she said, her voice imbued with a nervous tremor overshadowed by genuine emotion. "What Max taught me, what every animal here teaches us, is that our greatest stories are those of resilience and hope. It's my hope that these artworks serve not only as windows into their souls but as reminders of how love can be transformative." As the applause waned, Emily saw several guests move to action rather than words, walking over to meet the animals whose stories they felt compelled to understand and help bring forward. The event concluded, leaving a trail of whispered goodwill and commitments made, potential adopters infused with new awareness and intent. Emily and Max took a moment in the now quiet gallery, a sacred space containing echoes of laughter, contemplation, and the quiet realization of shared humanity. As the city lights beckoned beyond the windows, Emily allowed herself a moment of reflection, the satisfaction of a purpose realized unfurling like tender petals within her heart. Walking home with Max, their path aligned under the twinkling skyline, Emily's thoughts wandered back to their journey, how far they had come and the uncertain paths they still might traverse. Each challenge had brought her closer to this moment, to an awareness of the impact her actions could inspire. She realized that in the whirlwind of artistic expression and change, she had also reconciled with parts of herself she once fought to ignore. The flickering insecurities, the fear of failure, the desperate longing to belong. In their small, familiar apartment, Emily gazed at Max, his loyalty a comforting hug after an intense, exhilarating night. "We did it, Max," she whispered, bending down to stroke his silky fur, the gratitude within her resonant and pure. "We really did something special." Max met her gaze with that unwavering trust and affection only a companion could offer, silently affirming the adventures yet to come. In the link they shared, a connection of spirit and unspoken understanding, lay the truth Emily now cherished. That love could salvage the forgotten, art could awaken the world, and together, they could continue building bridges toward a brighter tomorrow.